What up, though? This is MURS, and you're hanging out on Front Row Live with my homeboy Rob, and we're at Strange Music Hollywood.
Finally hanging out with MURS.
Hey!
I used to skate to your music back in the day,
wow, that's
and
awesome.
you know the fact that I'm sitting here talking about this upcoming album is huge for me.
Thank you, man. I love it. I love that you skate. That's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
man. I wish I still did. I get on my board and I feel all my bones start to ache.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to get back into it now, teaching my son.
Man, it's a good way to start again.
Yeah, it's good, and learn how to do it right this time, hopefully.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the music. New album dropping this Friday, March 16th.
Yes.
This record, man, it's a deep record. I can't say that I've heard many hip hop artists go deep on their music, and you're kind of paving the way for that.
Man, I hope so, man. I owe it to Ice Cube and all the other people. They got to do all the fun stuff and talk about, women and drugs and money and guns. Yeah. And I'm just talking about, loss and tragedy and hopefully triumph, man. And this album is not about, these things happen to me and woe is me. It's about these things happen to me, right. And I'm sure they've happened to other people. This is what you can listen to when you're trying to get back up and get it started.
Right. Being that it's such a heavy record, your last record was dropped last year, yeah. So it's a quick turnaround from record to record. But I know all of this kind of started happening while the last album was in the works. So was this an intention to create this record for 2018, or is that something that just happened because of the events that were going on in your life?
Actually, this record was going to be postponed. I scheduled it 3 years ago when I figured, I'm turning 40 on March 16, 2000.
An old man.
I'm so stoked. So it was supposed to be, but a celebration of my 40th birthday, and I had no idea what was coming. And after I dropped Captain California, during the recording of that and Have a Nice Life, my life was kind of, and after Captain California came out, hopefully what I'm hoping is rock bottom.
Yeah.
And I thought, we're going to have to push the album back to September of 2018 so I can get my shit together. A year is not enough time to bounce back from this.
No, it's not.
And I was like, I don't know, I might need till September, and I didn't think a year would be enough to recover. And for those, I guess we're talking in code, but I had divorced, I had a court case, I had some more stuff. If you listen to the album, you'll hear it all, but also my wife and I lost our newborn son in labor, and that was 2 weeks after my last album dropped, and I didn't think I was going to be ready. And we were coming up on the release date, and the label was like, yo, if you want to do it, we want to do it. And I was like, well, I have a lot to write about.
Yeah.
LAPD, after falsely accusing me and hog-tying me in the middle of the street one time, when they let me go, they finally told me, they're like, oh, now you have something to rap about. So I always apply that to myself when I'm going through some bullshit. I'm like, well. Man. So after this past few years, I was like, well, I have a lot to rap about. And so we had 5 weeks, Seven and I, to turn in an album, and we got to it, and we did it. And I'm really proud of what we did, and like you said, I think it's breaking new ground in hip hop. So, I'm hoping people gravitate towards it if they need it.
Right now, Captain California was the first record that Seven was actually part of the production. He had maybe 3 tracks in there, so that was the first time that you worked with Seven, and then now this new record is all Seven. Yeah. So you got to work with him on every single track. So what was that like going into the studio with Seven to create this whole piece of artwork that you're making?
Seven's a unique guy. He does mostly 90% of Tech Nine's music. Yeah. So me and Tech are very different rappers, very different people, and Seven is one type of person, and very reclusive, quiet, subdued.
He's a nice guy in this situation.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's the too nice guy. It's like if there's something below humble where it's a bad thing, that might be Seven. He's underconfident because he's a legend, and possibly a genius. He's really good at what he does. Yeah. And so trying to bring him out of his shell and get him to bounce stuff off of me and kind of tell me when he didn't like something, or I'm like, yo, just tell me, we can re-record it if you don't like. And he's like, man, I never have this much creative control. And I was like, well, you deserve it, and I'm gonna trust you with this album. So you better be honest with us, and with the fans. And he was really thrilled to be in the driver's seat for once. Input on the album cover, input on the beats, input on the structure of the song, input on the track listing, input on the order of the songs. I was like, you be a full producer, be Quincy Jones, be hands-on. So I brought people in the studio, and this is my cousin Chris Bowers, who played the piano on a song called Vows, and it's for my wife, and I really wanted my cousin to play on it, but I was like, if you don't like my cousin's playing, we can change it. And I was like, now my cousin's great. You know, like he scored the Kobe Bryant documentary, Dear White People, for the people on CBS. I'm really proud of him. He's 28 years old and taking over. So I was like, my guy is good. But I was like, but hey, your call.
There's that option.
And he liked it. So and there's people he didn't like, and so we changed some verses, and he flew the ship, and I think he flew us into a hell of an album. I'm really, really proud of it.
Yeah.
And grateful.
Now, how different is working with Seven as opposed to working with Ninth Wonder? Are they two completely different people?
Yeah, it's definitely two different people working with them, but I let them both fly the ship, and they fly it in very different ways. Yeah. Ninth is very critical of my delivery. Seven isn't as much. And I would say Ninth is not critical of my delivery. I guess they are the same, yeah, because they both, everything, I'll tell the people at home, everything that you hear is done in post. Yeah. I'm not that good in the pocket, or I'm not that on beat. I just say it, and they like.
But you freestyle for 24 hours. What do you mean you're not good?
Yeah, I try. Well, technically, I was doing covers of songs, but but I did rap for 24 hours, so I'm good. But I'm not as good as they make me, and that's how a producer should be. No matter how good you are, your producer should make you better. Right. And Seven made me better, and Ninth makes me better. But Ninth is very outspoken. Seven is very subdued. I have to draw an opinion out of Seven. Ninth is gonna tell me from the jump. Up, yeah, but they both create beats for me. I think they both understand me as an artist, and I think we're building a bond. Me and Seven, me and Ninth's bond is a brotherhood. It's not. Yeah. I tell people all the time, we're not friends. Like, we're not into the same shit. We're not.
You don't even like the guy. I mean,
no. I love him. If anyone knows, I do love him. But we're not. We're different kind of guys. And Seven, we're a little more similar, but Seven's not trying to be anyone's friend. Seven has a family, his wife, and kids.
He's already set.
Yeah, he's like to get him to call me, or like I'm like, yo, let's do this, and he's like, all right, I guess. He's not like. So it's he's just a different person, man. But they're both very talented and great leaders. And I guess I don't know. Ninth has led me to a lot of critical acclaim and a lot of great records. And I'm hoping Seven will do the same, man.
Right. Now, back to the songs on this record, and Melancholy, for example. That one kind of concerned me. Maybe I thought a little too much of what I was listening to, but it made me think of suicide. Yeah. Is that something that really crossed your, was on your mind, something that, was troubling you?
It has something I dealt with in the past around 03, like 04, when I started taking pills and all this stuff. But especially since becoming a father, that's never been an option. Good, yeah. Never thought about that. But I know people do think about that, and I don't think less of them for thinking that. So we put that song out during the holidays, where the label told us no one is going to pick it up. The blogs are dead. It's December 22nd. No one can. And I was like, it's not for them. It's for the holidays where the people are the most depressed, where the suicide rate does rise. And I was like, this is who it's for. And I just want to take it back to music being medicine, and kind of just, and also music being art, and that was how I felt, and I want to express that. And I know there's people who needed that, and as soon as I got the first tweet, I got many since then, like, hey man, I really need this right now. I knew I did the right thing, and just kind of repurposing the culture, kind of for me. And when I say culture, a lot of people throw out culture. I mean hip hop culture, where it's a service to the community, where rappers are a service. There's other people. To me, you're a part of the hip hop community. You don't have to rap, b-boy, do graffiti, or DJ to be a part of the community. Those are the elements, but we're all part of this community, and our community is not making music that's dealing with mental illness or depression because we're too busy drinking and smoking and having fun, which is good, but we also need to start creating music for that. So this is what this music's for, and it may not sell 1 million records, but if it saves one life.
It's definitely saving people,
yeah, and that's all I'm here for.
Yeah. Now, we jump from Melancholy because I feel like there was various chapters in the album. Okay. And that's kind of what I liked. I mean, the first 2 tracks were super I feel bad for this guy, like everything that he's going through. And then we have a track like Superhero Pool Party where Bishop, makes his debut on there. Yeah. And I just love how fun and energetic this song is at the same time. And it's like you're naming all these superheroes, like you're a kid again. Yeah. Tell me about creating those balances or those different chapters in this album, that it's like you go from sad to this fun and happy place.
Yeah, Seven sent me all kind of beats. He didn't want me to stay there. And even Melancholy, the song, he did not want me rapping about that. He was like, I saw this as upbeat, but it's a really good song, so we're going to put it out. So he was sending me music, and the Superhero Pool Party in particular, he sent me. I'm kind of like in a moment person, so he sent it to me. I played it in the car. My wife was there. I was like, "What does this sound like to you?" She sounds like a pool party. Nice. And it also sounds like superheroes. And I was like, okay, superhero pool party. That's the name of the song. And from there,
you got the family involved.
Yeah, definitely. And then other songs like kind of more upbeat, like Whiskey and Patron. I was at the airport and I saw my friend Ted Chung, who's Snoop Dogg's manager, and was my first manager. And we don't see each other often, but we both love Bathing Abe, and we both like, you know. And I think he started me drinking like finer whiskeys. I believe it was him. Yeah. And we were at the airport chatting, and I was like, I'm waiting for a flight. My flight was delayed. I was at the whiskey bar in LAX, and I was like, oh, whiskey and Patron. I was like, you know, and Seven sent me the beat while I was in the air. He's like, listen to this beat, tell me if you like it. So then I just started writing that hook right there. Nice. And I was a little tipsy, so it's kind of just like so just whatever. And, you know, I started a song, Distance Somebody, and it was, you know, somebody that me and Ted both didn't really care for. So I was like, oh, it was just like, you know, whatever, I'm like a guy that's whatever happens at the moment, I'm kind of just a sponge, and I kind of reflect. Yeah, so I let it filter through me. So hopefully, you know, although like there's a darkness over the past few years, there has been moments of light, and I didn't want to drive home a dark cloud. I didn't want to bring people Lorraine. Or the whole album. You know what I mean? No, I think, like you said, different chapters are necessary, and Seven was very good about sending me different vibes.
Right. And I like how, you know, while all of this is going on, you close out the album with God is the Greatest. And it's, you know, when people go through situations like yourself, or maybe not to that extent, you know, their faith is just completely gone. Like you know, life sucks, the world sucks, nobody wants them. But with you, like, you give us an enlightenment with like the final track, God is the Greatest. Like, what was the creative thought behind that?
The beat, usually I listen to the beat and hear what the music has to say to me, and then what's going on at the time. And I've been up and down, and I've made friends with a lot of Christian rappers, and I've toured with Propaganda, who's on the album, and he was the first one to tell me that, you know, he was like, because I was like, I'm gonna curse in front of your fans. Are they gonna be pissed? Are they gonna leave? Should I perform first? And then, because if I perform last, they might not stick around. Or if I perform first, they might leave because they're pissed at you because I'm cursing. And he told me, he's like, he feels like a curse word is something that's meant to tear someone down. Right. If you're using a 4-letter word and it's not for negative things, then it's not a bad thing. Right. And I definitely, in my walk with God, I don't call it a walk with Christ for specific. I was raised as a Christian. Yeah. I do what I want, man. You know, like my son Bishop was adopted, and we got the call 2 days after he was born, and I wasn't ready. Like, I wasn't in the market for a baby. We had no idea. Right. And we weren't like signed up for a baby. It was a mistake, kind of, and they called us, and they're like, if you don't take this kid, he's gonna go to foster care. Right. And my ex-wife and I were trying to adopt a teenager and keep kids out of foster care. So I was like, we'd be hypocrites not to take this baby. Right. And we took him, and I just, you know, holding him in the fucking, having a baby. I knew I didn't have a lot of patience. Like, I was like, yo, I'd be like, shut the fuck up, motherfucker, goddamn it, like, blah, blah, blah. And then I go to bed like, what an asshole, he's just a baby. Right. He's perfect. And I'd be like, oh, I beat myself up. But, you know, now we grow together, and we talk very plainly. We use 4-letter words with each other. He doesn't use it with ladies or his granny or his school. But with me and him, it's just that. Because, like, if God wanted me to be this perfect, not cursing parent, he would have gave me some warning. Right. But he gave me this little boy. And so I parent him the way that I do, and, you know, we're just very honest, and like anything with me, I'm just a very free-flowing person. Right. So, you know, he's on his superhero pool party, I'm cursing at him, and he thinks it's the funniest thing because he knows that's how his dad talks, and he knows that I love him, and that's what's most important. So God is the greatest. I was like, you know, my son doesn't judge me, and God's not judging me for the music I use. And there's a lot of Christian rappers who kind of, I don't know, man, they present this image like they have the key on what it means to be holy, and fuck you. That's almost like fuck y'all, and, you know, and fuck you to life and the devil or whoever has been trying to like bring me down and destroy my faith. So it's kind of like to the world, like, and for anyone out there that feels like they have a walk with God, whether it's Christ, Allah, whatever, you know, don't let someone tell you how to worship or how to maintain your faith. Yeah, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? And only God can judge me. I'm definitely a Tupac fanatic. So and that's how I felt, and that's what that song was about. Like, I'm not broken. I do still believe that in a higher power for sure. Right. And this is how I'm giving my thanks.
Nice. Now, tell me about you know, the collaborations on here. Propaganda being one of them, Prof being another. You have a couple other people that I've never heard of before, and you're practically introducing them to me. So, You know, how did you go about picking these collaborators in this record? What was it about them that really caught your attention for them to be on it?
It was the feel of the beat. You know, whoever chose with Whiskey and Patron, I had a couple of my friends on it, and XV, the artist that's on there, is a dope guy. He's kind of like an alternate version of me. There's people I've met like that, like Propaganda, I feel like is, and then they could be insulted by that, but who gives a shit. King Fantastic, who I've had on my album for, like, and XV is just another. So I met him, but I hadn't heard much from him. And Seven used to rap with him. We were both on Warner Brothers together, and we had done music together. And Seven was like, I think he'll rap to it. And so we had all these verses, but XV's verse he liked the best. So I was like, well, rock with XV. And then Prof and Fashion, we did a tour called The Pay Dues. Road to Pay Dues in 2013, and we had a great time. And we've always said we're gonna do a song together. And finally, I was waiting for the right moment and the right beat, and that was it. And then there's John Gibbs, who was, I think, a Christian rapper. I met him in the Christian rap scene, and he signed to Interscope. And
he's one that I've never heard of until now.
Yeah, he's from Oceanside, California, and technically he's from Midtown, Oceanside, California. So I brought him in. I just thought he was talented. I was like, Seven, let's just have this dude in here. And I call him a kid. He's a young dude. So let's get this kid in here and just see what he does. I think he'll blow your mind. And he's like, man, he can rap. He can sing. He wrote the hook for Midtown in like 15 minutes. Had another hook for us in 2 minutes. Had a verse ready to go. He just had such good energy, and we were able to talk. And you know, as his walk with God changes and my walk with God changes, we were able to talk about that. And he's always someone I loved and respected. He definitely has a very similar background. We're both from you know, gang affiliated neighborhoods, right. And kind of rising out of that with a positive mentality, but still being very strong and forceful and proud of where we're from. So I wanted to have him, and I think the world will know his name soon enough because he's good, he's amazing. Yeah. And who else do we have? I think that was it, right? No. Yeah, Propaganda, who I told you we went on tour with, and right. He loves the Lord, and Coffee. And you know, also like I said, he has a similar. I guess John Gibbs in a way similar. John Gibbs is just a little too sexy to be an alternative version of me. But Prop is too, man. Or we're alternative versions of each other. Right. And Prop is just, you know, a more Christian, but still, you know, from the hood, has definitely a hood background, and right. And a great father, man. And that's what I respect about him most. And a great Christian, and he teaches me about coffee. So, you know, but we've had whiskey and coffee together, and. Yeah, that's just my brother, man. I really love him and his family.
Family vibe.
Yeah, so he was on a couple songs, and the one that stuck was what he did for Powerful.
Yeah. And then Tech Nine, which, you know, obviously, come on, how can you forget 10? Jeez.
It's not even on my album, that's why. I feel like that's...
Finally got that collaboration.
Yeah, man, it's been years, man, waiting for the boss to get down on a record. So having Seven produce was kind of like a layup. We had to get on something. And I'm glad we landed him, and it's a track that meant something to him. After he finished it, he called me and told me, yo, thank you, because I really needed to say that. Wow. And I was like, so wow, it means something to you too. And wow. And he did the video for me, and it was funny and it was fun, and yeah, I like doing fun shit with Tech. Yeah. And hanging out with him, and he's such a hardworking boss, man. Like, you know, you don't have too many companies where the boss works as hard as everyone else. Right. So just for him to make time and to come down with such a great attitude, and on set with my wife, hanging and just being him, and being the Tech that I know, like bringing the fire on the track, and then bringing the heart to the actual video and the promotion of the record. He's shown me so much love on his social medias, even in the midst of promoting his own record. Just a humble, kind killer on the microphone.
Right. Well, I know he's been a fan of yours for quite some time. I mean, the first time I spoke to him was in 2013, and all he kept talking about was MURS Day. Oh, man. And then since then, you know, every time I see him, it's like something about MURS, I'm like, damn, like, when is this collaboration going to happen? So I'm glad that, you know, this finally did kick off, and what better time than for your 40th?
Yeah, exactly, man. And he's the one that showed me that it does get greater later, and 40 doesn't mean your career. You know, he had his biggest records, or not biggest records outside of his scene, right, after 40.
Right. Which he's not happy about, but, you know.
Yeah, you know. I'm happy about it. Well, he may not be happy, but I'm grateful for it, man, because without that run, you know, seeing him do Hood Go Crazy on tour, on the special effects tour, and right, being on the bus with him, and seeing, you know, just the progression in him he still hasn't got his just desserts, but just, starting to get a little bit of the recognition he so much deserves, in my opinion, is dope, man. And seeing how he handles it with so much grace and, and still honesty. Like you said, he's not happy about it, but he's not a dick about it,
That's very true. Well, dude, I'm excited for this record. I've been listening to it for the better part of this week. Oh, awesome. So I can't wait for it to actually drop and everybody else to hear it. You guys definitely got to check it out. Pre-orders are still available with the signatures from you and
Seven. Seven has produced a lot of music for Strange, but he's never done a signing. So this is your chance to get Seven.
It's just exclusive. You got to get it now.
Yeah.
All right. So the record drops this Friday, March 16th. It's a big title. So sit down, get ready, write a pen.
A strange journey into the unimaginable. I promise next time we'll shorten it.